Welcome to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, the show that takes you behind the law and answers your toughest legal questions.
Welcome back to another edition of Behind the Law. I'm here with Robert Palmer and John LeGros of the Gregory and Clark firm, Robert Palmer from RP Funding. And today we're talking about a new program just for you. It's called Under One Roof. So are you ready? Let's get into the show. For those of you on the radio, you can't see him, but I'm standing next to him. RP is with us today, Robert Palmer of RP Funding. You can save thousands. There's zero lending fees. Imagine that. Now there's a whole bunch of other companies in Florida going, hey, we got an idea. How about zero lending fees on an option? How about if you just get it from word go with Robert Palmer? Also, John LeGros is with us. Now, John came to Gregory and Clark from, I'd like to say, the other side of things, so to speak.
The dark side.
He was, yes, a dark side. John LeGros was once on the side of foreclosing on you, coming after you from the big monster mega bank. But he saw the lighter side. He saw the side that our good friend Justin Clark is on, and, of course, our friend Robert Palmer, and that is, let's get you the house. Let's save the house. Let's find a way. You're not going to get the house for free, but there are ways to make this happen. So today, by way of introduction, John LeGros and Robert Palmer are with us. Give us a call at 855-297-9696. There wasn't enough room on the cameras for WRDQ TV 27 for Justin Clark, so we just edged him out of the picture today, so he's not here. How about it, RP? What's going on with you today?
Yeah, man, it's exciting. I'm glad to be here. And we touched on this topic briefly during my show yesterday, and that's the exciting new program these guys are rolling out for home sellers. Which is great. And what I think is amazing is for years now, Gregory and Clark has been helping people sell their homes who were in foreclosure. They'd help them with a short sale. They'd help them with the foreclosure defense, and they would help them sell the home. And as a part of that, they would help them find the right real estate agent, make sure that listing agreement they signed was advantageous to them as a seller, review that sales contract, make sure it was advantageous to them as the seller. We're going to talk about some stories where we've had calls on my show from people who were taken advantage of because their contract were written incorrectly, right?
I remember some of those.
And so the people who were in foreclosure ended up having great representation through the entire home selling process because they hired Gregory and Clark. And so now these guys have kind of woken up and said, hey, why are we only doing this for people in foreclosure? Let's give these services to anyone who's selling a home so they can get all these great benefits, getting the discounts, being taken care of, having a realtor on their side, having a contract that's properly written and protects them, having a listing agreement that protects them, finding the right real estate agent. All these great benefits are now available to people not in foreclosure for a low flat rate, which is what you guys are known for, the low flat rate. So I love this, and we're going to talk about it today and enlighten the audience, and I'm very excited about it. And then two, there's a special offer. If you sign up during this first week, these guys are going to give you a ridiculous deal. I told them not to do it. I told them it was too cheap, but this guy, they're excited about the program. So we're going to get into all that on today's show, and it's extremely exciting. So John, break this down and walk us through how this came about and what you guys are doing.
Like you said, Robert, we were so excited, to help all these people through the foreclosure process, sell their home, get them great deals. We decided it was just a natural fit to go to the next step to help people who aren't in foreclosure, to help them sell their house on their own as well. We were going to help them find the right realtor, give them options. Don't just go with the first realtor that comes to you. We're going to give them options, go to several different realtors that we work with. They can sit down with each one, go through the options that realtor can offer for them, go through the pricing that realtor has, make sure it's a good deal. We'll even go through the listing agreement with the client to make sure that the listing agreement has good options in case the deal falls through, in case that realtor is not doing a good job and they have to get out. Are they well protected in that agreement so they're not paying huge fees or paying penalties for having to change realtors? That's the whole plan, to try to help people find the right realtor, make sure the contracts say what they need to say, and to make sure they're getting the best deal possible. It was a natural fit to go to people who aren't in foreclosure to help people who are trying to sell their property.
We're going to take a break, but you can get legal advice right now by calling Justin's office at 321-282-1055, 321-282-1055. Associates are standing by. We'll be right back.
Behind the Law is pre-recorded for TV, but you can ask your question live on the radio Sundays at noon on News 96.5. And if you need legal advice right now, Justin's associates are standing by. Just give the offices of Gregory and Clark a call at 321-282-1055.
And the amazing thing here is there's a lot of properties that do have title issues. It does come up.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Behind the Law. the show that takes you behind the law and answers your toughest legal questions.
Welcome back to another edition of Behind the Law. I'm here with Robert Palmer and John LeGros of the Gregory and Clark firm, Robert Palmer from RP Funding. And today we're talking about a new program just for you. It's called Under One Roof. And RP and I talk about this on his show, and I talk about it with Justin, that up until now, without this program, you had to spend a lot of money to have representation, or you were sitting there all alone at the closing and all through the process, and you'd read something and not understand it. You'd call the various realtors involved and you go, what is this paragraph all about? And they'd go, don't worry about it. It never comes up. It never comes up. Well, a few weeks ago on this very show, and then yesterday, sort of a related call on RP's show on the air on 96.5, it was a lady several weeks ago who called in. Now, she was buying a mobile property on 5 acres. So somehow she got the thing financed, and she was going to town with this thing, but she didn't have the Under One Roof program going for her. Now, whoever was helping her with this purchase, RP, went through the closing, and she never got a title. She never got a deed. She never got anything that says she owned it. And now here she is 2 years later wanting to do some work. She cannot do anything because she does not have clear title to the property. We sort of had a related call yesterday, but who would allow such a thing, the closing to take place without the documentation?
Yeah, and the amazing thing here is there's a lot of properties that do have title issues. It does come up, and that's where, again, if you enroll in this program when you're selling your house, you now have an attorney on your side. So if one of these title issues does pop up, if all of a sudden there is a missing deed somewhere along the lines, or something wasn't recorded correctly, and we see this happen, and what can happen is, as a home seller, if you can't provide clear title by the closing date, you can be considered in breach of your contract. So let me tell you, if I'm selling my house, I don't want to run this risk. When I can get an attorney on my side for a low flat fee who's going to make sure that everything is in line with my title, if there's some kind of missing document along the way, they're going to be able to go to court and get that resolved, get that documentation fixed, get that lien released, whatever the title cloud may be. So when you sign up for this program, you get so much. You get one, they're gonna step in and check out your title. Right, John, as a part of the sign up, you guys do a title search for them, and you're going to make sure everything is in line to give clear title to the buyer.
The plan is to help everyone from the beginning to the end. They come in if there's through this program for the low flat fee. If you come in and there's any issues throughout the process, we're going to take care of all of these issues for you. If there's a title issue, we're going to defend you. We're going to do what we need to do to clear the title so that you get exactly what you bargained for, get the deal that you were trying to get. That's the whole goal of having the attorney. Gone are the days of doing it alone. You should be represented by a well-qualified attorney, and Gregory and Clark, we've been doing this for years for people, can definitely guide you through the whole process, and if there's any issues that come up, we're going to defend you, and it's all encompassed within that low flat fee.
We're up against a short break, but before we go, are you struggling to make your mortgage payments? Refinancing your mortgage is an easy solution that could save your home, and Justin Clark has worked on thousands of them. Just give the offices of Gregory and Clark a call right now at 321-282-1055, and a free consultation with Justin will give you your options. We'll be right back.
If you're having any legal problems that could cost you your home, remember that the offices of Gregory and Clark are your one-stop shop for saving your home. Short sales, foreclosure, bankruptcy, refinancing, it's all under one roof. Just give them a call right now, 321-282-1055, and you can schedule a free consultation. We'll be right back.
Yeah, so the amazing thing is, there's so many things that can go wrong when you're selling a house. Let's just walk through some things.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Behind the Law, the show that takes you behind the law and answers your toughest legal questions.
The amazing thing is, there's so many things that can go wrong when you're selling a house. Let's just walk through some things. One, you can have title problems, right?
Correct.
You can have a title cloud. There can be title issues. The next is you sign a listing agreement with a real estate agent when you go to list your house. That listing agreement can have language in it that's not favorable to you as a seller. I've seen listing agreements where the seller has to pay the fee even if the realtor never sells the house. Or if they cancel the agreement, they have to continue to pay the realtor for 6 more months. There's all these things that as an attorney you could help them avoid. The next is when they sign the contract with the buyer. If that contract is written to be slanted toward the buyer, to give too much power to the buyer, Rob, we had a call like this on my show. A seller had a home go under contract. A hedge fund was the buyer. Okay,
Oh, that's right.
So the hedge fund had this powerful attorney firm that wrote the contract, and they were able to get out of it scot-free, get their earnest money back, no obligations, like 2 or 3 weeks into the deal. because the seller didn't have anyone to review their contract. They thought they had a real buyer. They thought at least if the buyer didn't close, they would get to keep the $5,000 deposit the buyer made. But because the buyer's attorneys wrote the contract in such a way, the seller had no leg to stand on. If that seller had representation, that never would have happened. So we can avoid title issues and have representation. We can avoid listing agreement issues. That's a binding contract. We can avoid contract issues where you're signing the contract with the buyer. And then finally, having somebody with you at the closing table to make sure that everything is what it was supposed to be.
I'm going to keep harshing on this point that gone are the days when you have to do this alone. You want an attorney. You want us there with you, helping you through this whole process to avoid the fill-in-the-blank contracts. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about this phrase. We're going to be there with you to go through every language to make sure you're being well protected. This is one of the most valuable assets you're going to be trying to get rid of, and it makes only sense to have us with you there to go through the contracts, to make sure everything is done properly. There's no reason to go it alone. We can help you with that whole process.
And here's the craziest part of this. These guys, in order to get this program kicked off, if you sign up between now and October 18th, they're going to do it for $300.
$300.
Flat fee of $300. This is a special introductory deal to get the program going. Between now and October 18th, $300, and that covers everything. If you end up getting sued by the buyer and you have to go to court, it's included in the flat fee, right? I mean,
That's
all
correct.
This, as long as you sign up before
October
you sign
18th.
and before you can't have already hired the realtor and be in the process. You've got to hire them first. You got to hire them before the listing agreement so they can make sure everything's structured right from the beginning. Because if they come in on the back end, they can't do it for this flat fee.
Let me ask you this, John. Now, that includes it's $300 out the door. You're not going to have a fee like other attorneys do that every time I call you, it's $2.25.
It's a flat rate.
$300 in all the way through closing. You got my $300. I got the house I wanted. You represented me all the way through the closing. You sat at the table with me?
It includes everything. We're going to look at all the contracts, the listing agreement. We're going to go through the title. We're going to go through the buyer's agreement, everything, and sit at the closing table with you. If you call us now before October 18th, we're going to do the flat rate of $300, and that covers it all.
Now, this is for sellers. This is the seller program.
This is the seller
folks.
program.
They do have an under one roof program for buyers. We're not talking about that today. We're talking
correct.
about the program for sellers. So if you're selling a house, you want to sell your house and make sure there's no hiccups, make sure you're taken care of. Right now, to get this new sellers program launched, $300 flat fee, sign up by October 18th. I think it's amazing. I think everyone, that's less than the cost of an appraisal. That's less than the cost of a home inspection. That's less than the cost a lot of people will pay in a realtor's transaction fee. And now all of a sudden they have an attorney on their side helping guide them from start to finish and make sure everything is taken care of. I mean, this is amazing, Rob. We've got so much more to talk about.
We're into another break, but here's something to think about. Are you working on a short sale? Whether you're working on a short sale or are currently in the market for one, the offices of Gregory and Clark can help you. Just give their office a call right now at 321-282-1055. We'll be right back.
You can find more Behind the Law on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Gregory and Clark. And there's plenty of past episodes with valuable information on how to save your home from the mortgage companies. And for legal advice right now, give the offices of Gregory and Clark a call at 321-282-1055. Associates are standing by. We'll be right back.
Yeah, so the amazing thing is, there's so many things that can go wrong when you're selling a house. Like, let's just walk through some things.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Behind the Law, the show that takes you behind the law and answers your toughest legal questions.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We're Behind the Law with Justin Clark of Gregory and Clark. The office is 321-282-1055. 321-282-1055. You want to chime in on the show? It is 855-297-9696. 855-297-9696. A special deal for those of you about to sell your home. Before you do anything, sign up with the Under One Roof program. And these gentlemen have put their heads together. That's the good old John Grove from Gregory and Clark, and of course we got Robert Palmer here from RP Funding to put their heads together with Justin Clark and come up with a dynamite deal for you. Sign up now between now and October the 18th, and you will get the representation of the Under One Roof program as a seller for just $300, helping you with every step of the transaction. $300. You can't beat that. Guys, could you help our audience out with your contact information? We'll start off with our guest, Robert Palmer, RP Funding, offices Maitland and West Shore Plaza, Tampa.
Absolutely. You find us on the web at rpfunding.com, or you can call us at 407-802-3344. Again, that's 407-802-3344. if you're out there looking for a home, get pre-approved, get the strongest pre-approval in the industry. That's the RP Funding validated pre-approval, and save with no lender fees and the guaranteed lowest rate. We really make it easy for people to buy a home. Give us a call at RP Funding.
I saw you on the way to work today on your billboard. That was pretty cool. One of many billboards. John LeGros came to us from the
Yes,
other
sir.
side of the equation, so to speak. He's now fighting for you every step of the way with Gregory and Clark. How do people get a hold of you?
You can get in touch with us at gregory-clark.com or at the office 321-282-1055.
Okay, back to the panel and Robert Palmer.
Yeah, I think it's so important what you guys are doing with this. You know, like we talked about earlier, you've helped so many people sell their home that were in foreclosure, and now you're offering the services for the flat $300 during this introductory period, during the first week of the program, where people can sign up, get in there for a flat fee. But one of the real keys that I think is amazing what you're doing is helping people find that right real estate agent. All right, there are 10,000 plus real estate agents in Central Florida, and it can be so hard to find the right one. And I love what you guys do is you don't just say, hey, go use this real estate agent. You make introductions. You bring somebody in and you say, all right, we've got these real estate agents. We're going to look at the ones that best fit your needs. You know, maybe you're interested in a program where they're going to guarantee to sell your home in a certain number of days. Maybe you're interested in a program where you can save a little money on commission. Maybe you're looking for the absolute expert for that particular area. Well, you guys know who these agents are. You can also run statistics and make sure and see how many homes they've sold. What's the average number of days it takes them to sell a home? What's their average list price to sale price? You can run all these statistics, sit your clients down with 3 or 4 of these real estate agents, let them then interview them and select the one that meets their needs. So you take that number from 10,000 down to 3 or 4. It's the 3 or 4 who best possibly meet that customer's needs, and now they get to make the final decision and choose the one that's absolutely right for them. And all this is included in the flat rate of $300 for you to represent them as an attorney. I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, the real value is a lot of times people say, I have a friend who's a realtor, I'm just going to go with them. But with anything, whenever you're doing a major purchase of anything, you're going to want to have other people give you an idea of if it's a good deal or not. And that's the benefit of the program, sitting down with 3 to 4 other realtors to make sure that you're getting the best deal or the best options for this particular realtor. You want to have this person dedicate themselves to the sale of your home. And by sitting down with a bunch of different people who can explore other options, give you the best deal, maybe your friend's not giving you the best deal that you can get. Maybe this other person has better sales history. You know, getting competition is going to help you evaluate and make the best decision in choosing the right realtor. You want to get the best person who's going to give you the best deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And everybody's looking for different things. And that's the beauty of this. We're not just saying, oh, we don't necessarily think the best realtor is the cheapest or the best realtor is this or that. It's about presenting the options and what's important to you. Again, whether that's, you know, saving a little money on commission or having the agent who can sell your home the absolute fastest, or having an agent who will guarantee to sell your home by a certain date, or having an agent who knows all the buyers in a particular market because they're very ingrained in that community. Or maybe you need a specialist in high-rise condos or a specialist in luxury homes. On your own, it's very difficult to find out who these people are. With over 10,000 real estate agents out there, it's very hard to know where to start. So again, as a part of the legal representation of Under One Roof for sellers for only $300 during this special introductory period, you're going to have on top of everything else we've talked about, they're going to sit you down with the right 3 or 4 agents so that you can then interview them and make that final decision. Because I'll tell you, deciding who sells your house is a very personal decision. It's a very big decision, shouldn't be taken lightly. This is probably one of the largest transactions of your life. A lot can go wrong, and that's why these guys are going to do everything from introduce you to those real estate agents, review those listing agreements. This is a big one. That listing agreement is a binding contract. A lot of people just sign them without thinking. There can be some gotchas in there. So make sure you have an attorney. It's going to review that listing agreement, review that sales contract, review the title to your home to make sure there's no last-minute problems. You don't want to find out about title problems the day before closing. You want to find out early on when you first enroll in the program. And again, you get all this plus the legal representation, the ability to look at someone and say, you know what, call my attorney. You know, somebody starts to jerk you around a little bit, and this happens in real estate. All of a sudden, somebody wants you to pay some costs you weren't expecting. They want you to pay for some repairs that maybe you don't think you're bound to pay for in the contract. Or maybe the buyer walks away, and you think you should get to keep their deposit money, and they think they should get it back. When you have an attorney on your side, and you can look at the other side and say, you know what, talk to my attorney. I don't have to be the one to negotiate this with you. Call my attorney. You get much better results. And for the first time ever, these guys are making this available to everyday people because it's only $300 during this introductory offer to get in there and have an attorney, legal representation to sell your home, to make the right decisions for $300. It's amazing.
And these are the biggest contracts you're probably going to sign, getting rid of the house, signing up a realtor, getting the contract to sell your house. You're gonna want to have a lawyer from our office go through and hold your hand through that whole process.
John, you guys have done a great job. You've brought so much to the firm since you joined Justin, making an even better place for consumers, fighting the good fight even more. I really respect what you guys are doing. I love what you're doing now, taking care of home sellers and protecting people selling their homes. And I appreciate you having me on the show today.
Thank you, Robert. It's good to have you here, too, as always. And this program is all designed about empowering people, putting you back in control of the whole transaction. Stop relying on just your friend, the realtor's advice on things. It's getting you back in control of the whole situation and having us there by your side, reviewing everything to make sure you have everything that you need to get this transaction done and done properly.
And protecting you even after the sale. I think this is so incredible. Under one roof. Call and find out more about it at 321-282-1055, 321-282-1055. That's the office number, and there are associates standing by right now as you're listening to the show. Can't thank Robert Palmer of RP Funding enough for sitting in on the show today. And how do they get a hold of you, RP?
Absolutely. You can reach us on the web at rpfunding.com. Again, that's rpfunding.com. Or you can call us locally here in Orlando at 407-802-3344. Or just come right on down to our office in Maitland, right by the RDV Sports Complex, right there in Maitland Center. Stop in. We'd love to see you. You can sit down with one of our loan officers, find out if buying a home is right for you, how much home you qualify for, and learn all the wonderful benefits of using RP Funding, from our industry-leading pre-approval process to our zero lender fees, guaranteed lowest rates, and easy on-time process. And again, sign up now. You've got 1 week to take advantage of this amazing offer with Under One Roof for sellers. Flat rate, $300. Call Gregory and Clark. Don't delay. Don't let this pass you by. If you're thinking about selling your house anytime in the next 6 months, call these guys this week. Get signed up. Get taken care of. 321-282-1055. We're out of time. We'll see you guys next Saturday.
Thank you for watching Behind the Law with Justin Clark. Be sure to join us again next week as Justin takes you behind the law and answers your legal questions.